The night the Lycan King came to choose a bride, every daughter of House Valahart was dressed like a promise. Silk whispered across marble floors, jewels glimmered beneath torchlight, and hope trembled in carefully trained smiles. They were told this night would decide their futures, that beauty would be rewarded, that the king would see only what was meant to be seen. But fate was already watching the shadows. Behind the velvet curtain stood a girl no one had bothered to dress. No jewels crowned her hair. No one rehearsed her smile. She had learned long ago that being unseen hurt less than being rejected. While her father prepared to offer the pretty one to the most feared ruler of the realm, she waited where forgotten things belonged, unaware that the silence inside her was not emptiness, but something sleeping. When the Lycan King finally stepped into the firelight, the world seemed to hold its breath. His gaze passed over beauty, over perfection, over everything that had been prepared for him, and stopped where it was never meant to stop. In the dark. In the quiet. On the girl no one chose. That was the moment destiny made its mistake, or revealed its truth, and the moon began to change everything. Part 1. The choice no one expected. Moonlight spilled like silver blood across the stone courtyard of Blackridge Keep. Torches burned high, their flames bowing to the night wind, as if even fire knew it stood in the presence of a king. The Lycan King had arrived. His footsteps echoed, slow, deliberate, each step heavy enough to silence the whispers of nobles and pack leaders gathered for the offering ceremony. Cloaked in black fur and iron authority, King Cale Draventhorn was everything the stories promised and more. Taller than any man, broader than any alpha. His golden eyes cut through the crowd like blades, ancient and unreadable. Every daughter in the keep had been dressed like a sacrifice. Silk gowns clung to trembling bodies. Jewels glittered at throats that swallowed fear. Hope and terror mixed in the air, because to be chosen by the Lycan King meant power, protection, and a crown. But also meant belonging to a beast who ruled by instinct and fate. At the center stood Lord Aldrich Valahart, spine straight, smile sharp. He bowed low as King Cale approached. "My king," Aldrich said smoothly, voice ringing with ambition. "House Valahart is honored to present its daughters for your choosing." A servant stepped forward, pulling aside the velvet curtain. Gasps rippled through the courtyard. Alara Valahart stepped into the light. She was everything beauty was supposed to be. Long golden hair woven with moon pearls. Skin flawless as untouched snow. Eyes bright, confident, trained since birth to smile without fear. Her gown shimmered pale blue, stitched with sigils of fertility and grace. Aldrich gestured proudly. "Take the pretty one, my king," he said. "She is obedient, pure, and will bear you strong heirs." Alara lowered her gaze just enough to appear humble, but inside her heart raced with triumph. This was her destiny. She had been prepared for this night since childhood. Behind the curtain in the shadows where torchlight refused to linger, someone else stood. No silk, no jewels, only gray. Lyra, the other sister, the one no one introduced. Her dress was plain. Her dark hair loosely braided, strands escaping to frame a face people called forgettable. Too sharp here, too quiet there. Her eyes stayed lowered, not out of training, but habit. Years of being unseen had taught her how to fold herself small. She wasn't supposed to be here. She had been told to stay in the servants' hall, to watch from behind the lattice, to remember her place. Rejected. That word had followed her since childhood like a curse. Too quiet, too strange, born under a bad moon. A girl whose wolf never surfaced when it should have. A daughter Aldrich barely acknowledged. But fate is stubborn. King Kyle's gaze passed over Alara, slowly, carefully, and something stalled. The crowd waited. He smelled beauty. Perfume, ambition, fear disguised as eagerness, and beneath it all something else, a scent that did not belong to the girl in blue. His eyes shifted, past the torches, past the jewels, into the shadows. Silence fell like a snapped spine. Cale took one step forward, then another. The nobles exchanged uneasy looks as the Lycan King walked, not toward Alara, but toward the dark corner everyone had forgotten. Aldrich stiffened. "My king," he said quickly. "Perhaps you would like to?" Kyle raised one clawed hand. The world obeyed. His golden eyes locked onto Lyra. She felt it like a physical blow. Her breath caught. Her wolf, silent her entire life, stirred for the first time, a low, confused ache in her chest. No, not me, anyone but me. Kale stopped in front of her. Up close, he was terrifying. Scared, powerful, his presence pressed down on her like gravity. She could smell frost and blood and ancient forests on him. He tilted his head slightly. You, he said, voice deep, vibrating through bone and stone alike. Step forward. A ripple of shock tore through the courtyard. Alara's smile cracked. Aldrich's face drained of color. Whispers erupted like wildfire. That's the other one. The broken daughter. She has no wolf. He must be mistaken. Lyra's legs trembled as she stepped into the light. For the first time, everyone really looked at her. And for the first time, the Lycan King did not look away. Kale inhaled slowly. Mate, the word thundered through his mind with the force of prophecy. Not the pretty one, not the offered prize. The rejected sister no one saw. He turned back to Lord Aldrich, whose mouth opened and closed like a dying fish. I choose her? Kale said coldly. The night shattered. Part 2. The rejected becomes chosen. The courtyard erupted. Gasps turned into sharp whispers. Whispers into disbelief. Disbelief into fear. Lord Aldrich staggered back half a step. My king, he said quickly, forcing a laugh that scraped like broken glass. Surely there has been some misunderstanding. That girl is mine. King Kale interrupted. One word, absolute. The wind shifted, carrying his power across the stones. Torches flared as if bowing again. Every alpha present felt it, felt the ancient dominance of a Lycan who answered to no one. Lyra stood frozen. Mine. The word wrapped around her heart like iron. Alara's composure shattered. Father? She whispered, nails biting into her palms. You promised. Aldrich recovered just enough to bow again, though sweat gleamed at his temple. My king, Lyra is untrained. Unbonded, she has defects. Alara is the suitable choice, the pretty one, the one bred for this honor. Kyle's gaze hardened. You mistake me for a man who shops for ornaments. The insult landed hard. Murmurs rippled through the nobles. Kyle turned back to Lyra. Slowly, deliberately, he removed his cloak and draped it over her shoulders. The heavy fur swallowed her small frame, warm and impossibly alive with his scent. She gasped softly. With that single gesture, everything changed. A Lycan King's cloak was not clothing. It was a claim. Alara let out a strangled sound. Lyra's knees nearly buckled as heat rushed through her veins. Her chest burned, and for the first time in her life something answered back. A presence, a wolf, not silent, not broken, awakening. Kyle leaned closer, his voice low enough only she could hear. Do not fear. He murmured. Your wolf has been sleeping. I can hear her now. Her eyes widened. You can. She hadn't even known how to listen. King Kale, Aldrich said sharply, panic bleeding into his tone. With respect, she cannot be your mate. She was born under the black moon. The pack rejected her. She brings ill fate. Kale straightened, eyes blazing gold. Then your pack is blind. The pressure of his power slammed outward. Several alphas dropped to one knee. Even Aldrich flinched. The black moon does not curse. Kale continued. It hides. Silence swallowed the courtyard. Kale extended his hand to Lyra. Come with me. Her first instinct was to refuse. To run. A lifetime of rejection screamed that this could not be real, that she would be punished for stepping out of line. She glanced once at her father. Aldrich did not meet her eyes. Alara stared at her with something far darker than jealousy, hatred. That was the moment Lyra understood. If she stayed, she would be destroyed. If she went, her life would never be the same. She placed her trembling hand in Kale's. The contact sent a shock through both of them. Kale inhaled sharply. The bond flared raw, unfinished, dangerous. Not a gentle, fated pull. A storm. By the old laws? Kale announced, his voice echoing across the keep. Lyra of House Valahart is claimed under my protection. Any who challenge this choice challenge me. No one spoke. No one dared. Kyle turned, guiding her toward the massive black carriage carved with Lycan runes. As they walked, Lyra felt every eye on her, some burning with envy, others with fear. Alara's voice broke the silence behind them. She's nothing, she cried. She has no power! She'll shame you! Cal stopped. He did not turn around. She will break the world, he said calmly, and you will remember this night as the moment you failed to see it. The carriage doors closed. As the wheels began to roll, Lyra finally let herself breathe. Why me? She whispered. Kyle looked down at her. something unreadable softening his brutal features. Because fate does not choose what is polished, he said. It chooses what survives. Outside, the keep vanished into darkness. Inside the carriage, the bond pulsed again, stronger this time. And somewhere deep within Lyra's soul, her wolf opened its eyes. Part 3, The Wolf That Woke in Chains. The carriage thundered through the night, iron wheels cutting across frost, bitten roads as Blackridge Keep faded into memory. Inside, silence pressed thick and heavy, broken only by the rhythmic beat of hooves and the low, steady breathing of the Lycan King beside her. Lyra sat stiffly, Cale's cloak still wrapped around her like a living thing. Every breath she took filled her lungs with his scent, pine, winter, and something ancient that made her pulse race. Her chest still burned where the bond had flared, a strange warmth spreading through her veins. She pressed a hand to her sternum. I feel. Her voice wavered. Different. Cale watched her closely, golden eyes reflecting faintly in the carriage's lantern light. Your wolf is no longer suppressed, he said. She's confused, angry. Awake. Lyra swallowed. I was told I didn't have one. A shadow crossed his face. You were lied to. Before she could ask more, the carriage jolted violently. A howl ripped through the forest, sharp, feral, too close. Cale was on his feet instantly. Stay inside. The carriage screeched to a halt, steel rang, shouts exploded outside. Lyra's heart hammered as another howl echoed. This one twisted wrong. Cal ripped open the carriage door, power radiating from him like heat. Moonlight flooded in, revealing figures circling the road, wolves with eyes glazed silver, bodies scarred with rune, burns, controlled enslaved, blood-bound. Cal growled, Your father is a bigger fool than I thought. Lyra froze. My father. Cale shifted partially, claws extending. Only a Val heart would dare bind wolves to stop a Lycan King. The first attacker lunged. Cale met it head-on. The fight was brutal, fast, violent, cinematic. Cale moved like a storm-given flesh, tearing through enchanted flesh with savage precision. But there were too many. A wolf broke past him, straight toward the carriage. Lyra screamed. Something inside her snapped. Heat exploded in her bones. Pain lanced through her spine as she collapsed, gasping, nails digging into the wooden floor. No, she cried. Stop. The world tilted. Her vision fractured into scent and sound. Her heartbeat thundered like drums of war. Bones cracked. A howl tore from her throat, not human, not weak. Power flooded her veins, ancient and wild. Outside, the attacking wolves skidded to a halt, whining, dropping to their bellies. Cale turned, eyes wide. Moonlight revealed a massive shadow standing where Lyra had been, a wolf unlike any other. Black as midnight, veins glowing faint silver like constellations beneath her fur. Her eyes burned, not gold, not silver, but deep starlit blue. A black moon wolf, the rarest, the most feared. The forest went silent. Cale slowly lowered himself to one knee. My queen, he whispered. The words echoed across the trees. The blood-bound wolves bowed their heads, chains shattering as if made of glass. Lyra, no, the wolf, felt clarity for the first time in her life. Strength, rage, truth. She turned toward Cale, recognition slamming into her chest. Mate not by ceremony, by power, by survival. She stepped forward, placing her massive head against his chest. The bond ignited, complete, blazing, irreversible. When the light faded, Lyra collapsed back into human form, breathless and shaking. Cale caught her instantly, wrapping her in his arms. They hid you because they feared you, he said softly, fury coiled beneath his calm. The black moon wolves were nearly wiped out. You are not broken. Tears streamed down her face. They locked me away, suppressed me. Cale's jaw tightened, and they will answer for it. Far away under the same moon, Elara jolted awake, clutching her chest. Something had changed. Something she could never compete with. And Lord Aldrich Valhart felt the ground tremble beneath his feet. The black moon had risen. Part 4, the crown that bled for her. The Lycan Citadel had not seen a black moon wolf in 3 centuries. As Cale carried Lyra through the obsidian gates, the ancient fortress seemed to awaken, runes igniting along the walls, towers humming with old magic. Every guard, every alpha, every elder stopped where they stood. They felt her. Lyra stirred in Cale's arms, half-conscious, body aching from the shift. Her wolf purred beneath the pain, powerful and unafraid now. When her feet finally touched the cold marble floor, she swayed. Cale did not let her fall. Summon the elders, he commanded. Now. The great hall filled quickly, stone pillars carved with the history of Lycan Kings, banners heavy with blood and conquest. At the far end stood the moon throne, carved from a single slab of starstone. Lyra stood before it, wrapped once more in Cale's cloak. Whispers crawled through the hall. Black Moon? That's impossible. She's Valeheart blood. She should have been dead. An elder stepped forward, white-haired, eyes clouded with age yet sharp with recognition. Elder Morvain. We sealed them away, Morvain said hoarsely, to prevent another war. Cal's head snapped up. You what? Morvain bowed his head. The Black Moon wolves were too powerful, too unpredictable. Kings feared them. So they were hunted, their children marked, suppressed. Lyra's hands curled into fists. All those years of being small, all that silence inside her, deliberate. Cale's voice dropped to something lethal. You allowed this. We thought it mercy. Morvain replied. Better hidden than slaughtered. Cale turned to Lyra. His gaze softened. Do you feel controlled? She shook her head slowly. No, I feel whole. The elders shifted uneasily. Cale faced them again. Then hear this. She is my fated mate, and she will be crowned. A gasp tore through the hall. A human-born girl cannot sit the moon throne, one alpha protested. Cale smiled. It was not a pleasant expression. She is not human-born. She is Black Moon. The floor trembled. Suddenly, pain ripped through Lyra's chest. She cried out, collapsing to her knees. Cale caught her, too late to stop the magic surging through her veins. Runes flared across the hall. The moon throne responded. The ancient seat cracked, a shard of starstone slicing Cal's palm as he reached for her. Blood spilled onto the floor, onto Lyra's skin. The hall went silent. Blood magic. Lyra screamed as visions flooded her mind. A crown forged in moonfire, a war that split the Pax, a queen standing beside a Lycan King herself. The throne reshaped itself, lower, wider, forged for two. When the light faded, Lyra lay gasping in Cale's arms. The elders dropped to their knees. The throne has accepted her, Morvain whispered. By blood and bond. Cal pressed his bleeding palm to her chest. My crown will bleed for you, he vowed. And so will the world. Far from the citadel, in House Valeheart, Lord Aldrich screamed as black veins crawled up his arms. The suppression sigil burned into his blood shattered. Every crime, every lie, every stolen power, reversed. Alara watched in horror as her beauty dimmed, magic draining from her veins. What did she do? Alara sobbed. A mirror answered her. For the first time, she saw herself clearly, and she was ordinary.